Phases 4 and 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe were an absolute disaster for the Walt Disney Company. But according to some rumors from our friends like Chris Gore at Film Thread, it may just be that Disney and Kevin Feige are cleaning house at Marvel Studios to rid themselves of the woke albatross that has been destroying that franchise system for the last several years. Let's get into it.
Renegade Online.
Is that Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, and Disney in general has done some house cleaning. So let me play this real quick. This is the clip from Drinker's Show.
Sounds like the worst level of Earthworm Jim.
They need something. I know. I do know people who work at Marvel. They have cleaned house. They quietly months ago fired all the producers that could be labeled activist.
Really?
Yes. Unlike Lucasfilm is lost. They're lost.
Okay.
That's it. They are doubling down on all the nonsense, right? You will never get anything good out of Lucasfilm and Star Wars. That's it. Kevin Feige recognizes he even I'm not going to say exactly. Basically, he said that we tried it. It didn't work. He's talking about phase 4.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. We tried it. Didn't work. No Kang. None of these side characters that don't have the legacy of classic characters. And if Deadpool and Wolverine proves anything, you've heard that phrase, male and pale is stale. That was spoken aloud across studios. But if you look at box office this year, I would say male and pale is money. Mm-hmm. And that's the phrase that I think people should more adopt. But they got rid
the
of
audience is men. So, why would you ever say that male is state? It doesn't make any sense just from a basic capitalism point of view. Well, anything else.
Insult your audience.
Just because it rhymed, everybody thought that was really good.
Right.
Yeah, it's just
It goes to prove that the left can't meme. That's been true forever as it is today. The left can't meme. And it even goes for stupid little expressions like, if it's male and pale, it's stale. This is why we don't have a Luke Skywalker anymore. This is why we don't have a Han Solo anymore. This is why things like, and we have, I'm sharing a Chrome tab right now. I can't pull that one up, but there's another article on TPP. Well, I guess I'll flip back to it to kind of give you a good point. This is why this game's going to fail. Star Wars Outlaws, it's going to fail. Why? Because what they've been talking about 2 months. Well, we're finally going to get a game where we've got this really cool Han Solo smuggler character as the hero.
Oh, yeah, Mick Jagger.
Why don't you give us Han Solo? I mean, wouldn't that have sold better? No,
you don't like Mick Jagger? What's wrong with you? Look at that rock legend on the screen you're staring at.
Dick Jagger. Yeah. No. I mean, this is the kind of stupidity that it's ruining Lucasfilm. It's ruining Disney's reputation. They love doing that on their own. But this is why games like this are going to fail, apart from the fact that the game mechanics itself look incredibly clunky. This cheap female ripoff of Han Solo. Again, we couldn't actually get Han Solo. We had to get a girl boss version, a dime store hand-me-down, low-rent fart version of Han Solo.
Have you seen the original actress? Have you seen what this...
Oh, she's hot.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she's hot.
And we got this.
Yeah, and she's taking the back of her hand and wrapping the back of stormtroopers on the back of their helmet and knocking them out. Dude, if I did that, I would break my hand on the back of the helmet like that.
She is a women's Olympic boxer, though.
That's exactly. Yeah, she's some Monty Khalif right here. All body full of Y chromosomes in this one. But anyway, let's go back to this one. And Pro, I know you've got some comments on this. Obviously, look, Chris Gore has gotten this news. He has friends at Disney, Marvel, various studios. The whole thing with phases 4 and 5 has been an abysmal failure. We have been covering this since before Shang-Chi came out. We said, based on Feige's comments on everything that we saw coming forward, Phases 4 and 5, this was back in summer of 2021. 3 years ago, we said this was going to be a disaster. Kevin Feige was going to screw the pooch hard. He's going to rest on his laurels and think he can do anything he wants, put a Marvel title in front of it, and it's going to make over $1 billion in the theaters now. That experiment failed abysmally. And now it looks like, according to Chris Gore, and maybe you've heard the same thing, that they've been cleaning house in Marvel with these woke producers that wanted to drive all of this attitude of, if it's male and pale, basically, we don't want white men hero complex things in movies anymore. And I don't think it's so much the issue of it being white. I think it's the male part. And that's what everybody, I think, my opinion, needs to key in on. I want to hear what your thoughts on this whole story, but the issue is getting away from the male characters, because that's been the issue. Like, spoiler alert, when I saw Wesley Snipes come on the screen as Blade in Deadpool and Wolverine, it took every ounce of me not to come out of my chair and squeal. I was so happy.
Because it turns out the skin color isn't skin color.
Nobody gives a about skin color. That's just
exactly.
It's the male part. And we have been watching Iron Man. And you know, it's going to be replaced by a black female character. And Hawkeye was replaced by his daughter. And we're getting characters getting one-upped or replaced by female counterparts. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. The women don't want it. But, I mean, Pro, tell us what you've heard on this, and I'm going to let you have the floor here for a few minutes.
You can tell that they've made the change because when's the last time you heard about the Young Avengers, folks? Right? That was supposed to be the thing. That was at the end of one of the movies. And so we were supposed to get the Young Avengers, and that was going to be led by Miss Marvel. And we love Iman Vellani, but she is not going to bring the money. And it was supposed to have the girl from True Grit and all of that, Kate Bishop in it. And that's all been just scrapped. None of that's happening. Chris Gore is exactly right. And this is, by the way, what I've been hearing now for more than a year and been reporting on. I want to show you this real quick, ladies and gentlemen. I think you will find this fascinating. Let me pull this up on the screen. This is my time to shine. In about half an hour, I'm going to have a video coming out that talks about this very topic, but I'll give you a preview quickly. What we're finding out is when it comes to going back to the source material, this is exactly right. The MCU is done. It's over. It's in the can, and they're moving on as fast as they can. This all starts not with necessarily Deadpool and Wolverine, but it goes back farther. It goes back to their realization when they had Spider-Man No Way Home, and they saw what could be brought home in terms of revenues. And then they were comparing that, by the way, with Miss Marvel, with the Eternals, with Shang-Chi, with all of this stuff. And they said, you know what? We like money. And Kevin Feige, by the way, likes his legacy, as opposed to Kathleen Kennedy, who we are now told is largely residing in L.A. and not deeply connected and intertwined with what's going on at Lucasfilm. Not sure if that's good or bad. You make your own decision there. But my time to shine is an account that leaks quite a bit of stuff inaccurately. And all the way back August of last year, I was reporting exactly to a T what this account now says was happening. We've got that confirmed. We'll go over it in the video on the Pro Show or Pro Channel later tonight. Here's what it says. What Avengers: The Kang Dynasty was supposed to be about. In the film, the TVA began gathering anchor beings from across the multiverse, believing that they are the only ones powerful enough to defeat the Council of Kangs. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, all the Spider-Men were going to be back. But that's not all, baby, because they're going to pair the Spider-Man with Hugh Jackman. And then it says other anchors, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't matter so much, though. What was going to happen? Well, a whole lot of male, a whole lot of pale, and that was going to bring in the bread for Marvel. Going with all three Spider-Men plus Hugh Jackman, pairing up Wolverine and the Spider-Verse. What a thing. The plan was for all of them to ultimately fail, leading to the collapse of the multiverse and Kang's creation of Battleworld. This would then set the stage for Secret Wars, where other MCU characters and additional multiverse figures would converge. Now, let me ask all of you out there, do you believe, by the way, that that's over, that they're done with that? I say nay. There's no way. If they've got those kinds of contractual negotiations in place, they're not going to drop them just because they lost Jonathan Majors. Seriously? You think Jonathan Majors threw everything, a wrench in the entire plan? No. They threw the audible and brought back something that's more audible in terms of pulling in movie tickets and butts and seats, and that's RDJ. And if you think for a second that RDJ is going to be taking home hundreds of millions of dollars to play a villain and get beat in the end, and that's the way he's going out of the MCU this time, think again. RDJ is coming back to play the hero, at least by the end. You're going to get Tony Stark, you're going to get Iron Man, and that's the plan, to bring back Wolverine, the Spider-Man, RDJ, and oh, by the way, probably Jeremy Renner too. They're going to get the team back together and reset this whole thing and start anew and forget that Phase 4 and Phase 5 ever took the dive that they did. The plan by the MCU, by Kevin Feige, is to fix his legacy and get this thing set back in place where it makes money yet again. And then they'll go full force into the mutants. Then they'll go full force into resetting everything that they had and everything that will be. But they are going away from the MCU because why? Well, because go woke, go broke, and they're done with that joke. That is where Marvel is today.
Yeah, and
Elliot,
I don't.
Did you clean the puppies?
I did. I don't think it's going to really get a whole hell of a lot better. I think that's yet to be seen. I am reserving my expectations. Here's the problem, is that all these changes that they're trying to make, they've realized, and look, I want to give credit where credit is due. If Feige and Bergman and everybody else out there above him at Disney have made the decision that we can't continue down this road, Marvel is too lucrative and has been too lucrative for us to just let it die. Great. Good for you. Recognize the fact that you need, God forbid, to actually cater to your audience. Crazy as that sounds, but that is the fact of life. The issue is, I don't know if it's not too late. I think in large part it probably is. And if they do manage to recover the same audience they had before, I think it's going to take them a significant amount of time. People out there, and I understand this, the normie side of things, when they see box office numbers or when the Hollywood trades tout that, Deadpool and Wolverine's going to break $1 billion. That's awesome. Or the Marvel glory days are back, whatever. No, they're not. Because, again, ticket prices nowadays for these movies are roughly 40% higher than they were in 2019 when Endgame came out. So even if you have another movie that turns in Endgame numbers, turns in $2.9 billion worldwide, is that a huge win for Disney? Absolutely. But $2.9 billion today versus $2.9 billion in 2019, that still means that you've still lost 40% of your audience based on what ticket prices are today versus then. That's still a significant audience collapse. I think it's going to take Marvel a long time, if ever, to be able to recover the same number of butts in seats. They're going to have to put out.
We've got an ugly 2025 too. Don't forget that. It's going to be a very ugly 2025 because they've got to flush out this negative pathway they were on before they can ever make the course correction.
Yeah, they do. And, speaking of 2025, I guess in tandem with this is a good opportunity to bring this in. Let me grab my
as you're
my
getting
Apple
that, Valiant,
News
I'll just
page.
say this. I am hearing, and hopefully we can put this as an official scoop soon. But I am hearing strongly, not yet ready to put my name behind it. So, but tentatively, I'm hearing strongly that Ryan Reynolds, they're going to bring him into the Avengers now. That Deadpool will be on the Avengers.
They have to. They would be absolutely stupid as hell if they don't. This is a new reset for the Walt Disney Company's theatrical slate for the next 3 years. This just came out within the last 24 hours, I believe. Marvel removes a 2026 title. Searchlight's A Real Pain moves to November. Major Disney release date update. And this is a list of newly booked and maneuvered weekends for the Walt Disney Company.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.